What's up, guys? We're back here at the Empires, and it looks like they've finalized the matchmaking, it looks like. So let's jump into the scouting and talk about what's going on with matchmaking, how the loots are, how the crowns are, talk about everything that's in the game right now. So as you can see, we are seeing roughly 10,000 gold for the average loot now. When we hit the next button, we should probably see another base that has about 10,000 gold. So a little bit less here. This is 6,800. Not terrible. The crowns will be mostly 3, because if you are 1,000 crowns or higher than your opponents, you will only see 3 crowns. Most players are going to be below me. I am currently at like 4,000 crowns, like top 60 or so players on the leaderboards. So there's not that many players above me, which means I'm not going to see that many crowns. But the loot is what you should really be caring about, because as of now, there's nothing at the leaderboards. Crowns don't mean anything. Crowns are just bragging, hey, yeah, I'm top of the leaderboards. Crowns don't mean jack shit. So, pumpkins, on the other hand, like the pumpkin is setting up for the turkey event, which is going to give you some real cash Amazon money next month. That's cool, but as of now, they don't do anything either. So you don't have to worry about crowns. Like, don't obsess about being top in the crown leaderboard. Most likely, they will probably reset the crown leaderboard eventually. Because, problems from past with all the exploits in the leaderboard, the matchmaking systems, and so forth. So you can see most of these bases, we've done about 10 next now, give about 10,000 gold. Which that's not terrible, actually. A lot of these bases are actually different, too. They're actually human bases. So you can tell a human base if you see any building upgraded, like this is a human base because it has those upgrades. So a human is actually playing this base, building this base, and we could actually attack him and take some of his loot. Do we want to do that? Probably not, I mean, we could easily beat this base. Nothing too crazy here. But is it worth the troops? And actually, there's only 2 mortars, so that's not too bad. And they're in very bad positions. So we'll talk about this in a defense guide building video. You always want to protect your mortars. So here, he has the mortars in a diamond shape. And they're both on the south and the north end. What we can send in our troops to actually target that mortar. And we'll go ahead and do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down a golem right here to get the aggro. And then we're going to drop down some caterpillars on the side here. And the same thing, we're going to drop a mortar over there, or a golem there, and then we're going to drop caterpillars on this. So as soon as the caterpillars can get up close enough range down there, they're going to kill that. Same thing, they're killing that down there. They had to get a little bit too close. So unfortunately, you're going to see and notice that golems just die. They have a good amount of HP, but they just die because they take up all the damage. So they soak up all this tower damage, and they're not able to survive. Let's go ahead and freeze this just to keep it alive, because we should be able to kill it before it kills our golems. We didn't need to do that, but I don't like wasting my troops. And you can see how easy this is. So I think we lost 1 golem and 1 caterpillar in this battle. Very, very simple base to kill, because we took out the mortars with very little damage. And we have some gloves still. Just checking the corners to see if we can get that 100%. But yeah, you always want to protect those mortars. Build your bases around the mortar. We'll talk about that, like I said, in a base building video. We're going to do one of those very shortly for our Great Hall level 13, I think it is, we're at. And the reason I waited to do another base building video is because we have one at like Great Hall level 7 or so. And then nothing really changes that much. You don't get really much more defense structures until Great Hall level 13, I believe it is, when you get the 3rd mortar and then like another anti-air. So realistically, you could just keep the same base design that we have the video for like Great Hall level 7. So once again, player base, you can see that anti-air is being upgraded. Player base here, Great Hall being upgraded. You know, looking at these bases, I actually really like the staggering of the walls. That means you have to put your troops further out, and then the AI has to go and do its thing. And the AI is kind of funky, and it'll definitely get you some extra victories there, having your base set up. This base is very good. So this is something that I think is a really, really good base. You can see he has the mortars like double wall protected. So you have to go through 2 walls to get to the mortars. So overall, this is a really, really good base, I'd say. Mr. Spooky, if that is a real player, did a really good job on making a base. And if you are in the lower levels, like Great Hall 7 or so, I would highly recommend like copying something like that. This one right here is a human's base. It's not terrible either. We'll go kill this. It has 16,000 gold, which is a decent amount of gold. And it's also got 52 crowns. So this guy is actually higher than us in the leaderboards, most likely. Nothing in the corners. We're just checking the corners to make sure if we can get our 100%, because this is actually a base that is worth a lot of crowns. Even though we don't necessarily care about the crowns, the loot is what we're after. In order to get all that loot there, we kind of need 100% as base. So we're going to plan the attack, and we're going to walk through these mortars, as those are the danger things. Alright, we're going to drop down a golem over here, and a golem over here. And then we're going to drop down some caterpillars. We're going to drop down some tempests to help clear out this stuff. I'm also going to drop down a couple glubs to hopefully get through. Here we need to heal up because the mortar is doing a lot of damage to the caterpillars. Good, the glub went in there. I'm going to go freeze up there. And all the caterpillars are actually coming in to the base now. So this is really bad. We need to kill that mortar as quick as possible. And if we didn't, if he had a 3rd mortar, for example, these guys are all clumped up and now could just die to a couple cannonball shots from the mortar. Whereas now we're at the point where the base is pretty much dead. All the defenses are kind of down except for the 2 turrets on the side there. Our glubs in the top are actually going to take aggro. So hopefully, oh, they went out of range. And we need to drop down our raiders, actually. So that's why I like the glubs, is they take aggro. They're mini tanks. You don't care if they die because they only take a few seconds, like 10 to 15 seconds to train those guys. And they can just absorb a lot of HP. I really feel bad when my golem die because it takes 2 or 3 minutes to train the golem. Such a long time. I don't like the train time. So not bad. Cleared it pretty easily. 2 golems, 2 tempests, a couple glubs, and raider. Let's go raider. And then there, and let's speed this up. So the cool thing though is that you can collect the speed up timers by walking around. So you notice we had a bunch of speed up timers, and then also from the outpost. So you do want to grab all the treasure chests out in the world, even if the loot does look really pitiful and sad. You're like, why do I want that chest that has 300 gold in it? Well, because it might have a 15-minute speed up timer, or maybe even a 1 hour or an 8-hour speed up timer. So here's another base that has over that 10,000 threshold. So this one's got 17, and it is a pretty good base. The mortars are deep inside the base, pretty well protected. Yeah, this is overall a pretty solid base design right here. I definitely like that one. So we're not going to go and attack that one because it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to lose some troops. And we don't want to lose the troops. The cool thing, though, is I have seen bases that have had like 50,000, 60,000 gold, so a good amount of loot, because we're starting to fight other players. They did adjust the shields, so if you are like in the top 100 of the game, in the leaderboards, you actually get less shield time. So we'll talk about that in another video, because they are still tweaking and adjusting things. So this base is cool because one of the mortars is being deactivated. The green upgrade symbols there means that it's being upgraded and that it actually doesn't work. So this base is fairly strong. It's got double walls, which is good. But we're going to go and attack from the right side, and we're going to steal this loot because there's one mortar. And once we take out the one mortar, we don't have to really worry about anything else. Golems will die, but they absorbed the damage. They did their job. We can go ahead and put a heal spell down there. Actually, probably should put some more. So there goes that mortar. Drop down those. So normally you'd have to be very careful about dropping like all your troops, but we're going to just drop everything because the other mortar is deactivated. And we would prefer if a raider died or if a glove died, any other of our troops die, have a quicker train time than our catakillers. So right there, the raiders are actually taking the aggro from that turret, which is great. I'm happy with that. I don't care if the raiders die. We'll still have enough damage to kill the entire base. And so now we're just left with that sentry post for the defenses. You can see we still have a few raiders, still have 40 seconds left on the clock. So plenty of time. And, you know, we're going to lose a little bit of the small troops. We probably lost like 5 raiders, the 2 golems. But other than that, we didn't lose much. Maybe 1 catakiller. And look, finished, 3 stars, 25%. Yeah, so look, we lost 2 catakillers, 2 golems, and 6 raiders. So not too terrible. Let's go train those up. And then jump into another battle here. So we are on iOS. The Caterkiller nerf hasn't affected us yet. We haven't got that patch. It's still in review. So Caterkillers will have a smaller range and possibly slightly lower DPS after the patch for us. But as of now, the Caterkillers are still a really, really strong unit. I do want to try the Rogue out after the patch. The Rogue goes down to 2 housing slots. So we'll have some Rogue gameplay probably tomorrow or the next day when the patch goes live. And hopefully they've learned something about this, and they learned that iOS is very slow, and that they want to submit the game build to iOS to Apple well before they submit it to any of the other companies. Because you want to have every device on the same version, especially if they're doing, you know, a real money cash events. That would definitely suck if some versions are like a day or 2 ahead and they've been able to collect turkeys. Although the Pumpkin leaderboard has shown that they can collect the data from before, so maybe it doesn't matter, actually. Maybe it'd just be a psychological thing for the iOS users to be like, this sucks, we're 2 days behind. But realistically, it's still collecting your data. We'll have to see how it plays out. We'll talk to the devs and ask them. Alright, here's a base, 17,000, so a little bit above average. Probably going to attack it. So the mortars aren't that protected, but it's definitely going to hurt, because there's some decently leveled turrets there. And then 2 mortars. What we'll probably do is we'll probably drop down our gloves. and see if we can kill the turrets over here. We'll drop down a Tempest to help clear those. Oh, so Glubs didn't draw the aggro. We'll drop down a free spell, give us some time. I'm going to put some Caterkillars down here. And we're going to put some Caterkillars over here now, and then also drop some Glubs on this side. Heal up the Golem just for a little bit. And let's freeze down this. Try and keep that Golem alive. Nice. The Mortar went on and to attack that Glub. And unfortunately that Golem is going to die. Ah! One hit. He was like one hit away from living. So close. So we took a little bit of casualties. We took, I think, like 4 Golems death there. And you can see it really doesn't matter how many Golems you have. They're all gonna die. Even if you use spells, your Golems are gonna die. Golems just like to die. The way I look at Golems is as soon as you place them down, they're lost. They're dead. We only lost 1 Golem, actually. I guess we only had... No, we had 3. What happened to all the Golems? So that was some weird glitch there, I think. We lost 7 Caterkillars, it said. That's a lot. Huh. No, I guess we still had 2 Golems. I don't know. Visual glitch, maybe. It looked like all our Golems were dead. 7 Caterkillars died, though. Do one of those, and there. But overall, I think matchmaking is in a pretty good place. As you can see here, 10 to 20,000 roughly, about the loot. And then if you get lucky, you can hit somebody that has 50 to 100k in loot. So if you find a player that has a bunch of loot stored up, one of the top players, you can get a good chunk of change from just one battle. Yes, I would like to see a little bit higher loot, but it is definitely moved in the right direction. There's another player's base here. 16k. I think we can take out this side over here. Mortar goes through. Mortar there. There. Yeah, let's do this. So we need them to break down that wall. And drop down a golem for protection. Oh, actually, they were able to hit that turret. So now they're going to break down the wall. So look at that. So I dropped the Tempest. The Tempest is walking all the way over here to hit these buildings. Very good base design. The AI doesn't realize, like, hey, we should, hit the building right in front of us. Alright, we're going to drop that. Gonna freeze those guys up. Caterkillar's almost dead, so we're going to heal these guys up. We're going to drop a Tempest on the top here. And then we're going to drop down our Raiders. So we dropped the Tempest up there just to see if it might hit that turret. And also clear off this stuff. Because we're going to run really close on time on this base. There's still some structures down there that we have to kill. So if they have anything on the side, we have a couple globs still. Nope, okay. So probably about 15 seconds. And then we'll have this base completed. But yeah, so at the level we're currently at here, Great Hall level 13, we need approximately around 250, 300,000 gold for every upgrade. So during this 20-minute raiding session that we've done right here, we haven't got enough at all to upgrade a building. We are definitely, struggling to upgrade a building, but it should be a struggle, and should be a choke point. Players shouldn't be able to progress that quickly, and this should also help the newer players catch up to older players, because older players should be struggling here. They should be trying to harvest resources, they try to defend their bases, keep those resources from the defenses, and then upgrade once they can, maybe after a couple days. The newer players should always be able to upgrade, because you should be seeing 5 to 10,000 easy bases in gold and loot. Let's go there, and then a raider. But it's interesting to note, some people are complaining about the lack of crowns because they want to get to the top of the leaderboards. And realistically right now, and how the game is set up with the matchmaking, you're not going to move much in leaderboards. You're never going to catch Happy Guy at the top right now because, he exploited the early game where there was just bot bases that gave out, 30 trophies. And being able to spam and kill those guys, or even if the bot base only gave 3 trophies, but if you could spam it and kill it 100% with no death, no destruction, with using dragons. So one more good base, and then we will call it quits here. Yep, here's a good one, 38,000 gold. So these are normally the bases that you'd be looking for. So if I wasn't really gonna try and talk through the video here and explain things, I would be just clicking next like 50 times until I found a base like this. And then I'd be like, okay, cool, 38,000, I'm gonna take this base on. How do I do it? Let's go. And so now you strategize, figure out how to attack this base, take the loot, and this is a player's base because you can see he's upgrading something. So he's got 3 mortars. This is a Great Hall level 13 or higher. So we need to kill this little dinky mortar over here. He's not really going to do much. That's going to be easy. Terrible placement of that mortar right there. And then also terrible placement of this other mortar up here. The only good placement he has is this one mortar right here on the southern side. Alright. He's got buildings on the side, so we need to do that. Alright, so we need to drop a golem over here, then caterpillars there to kill those 2. Okay. Alright, so we're going to drop a tempest up here. And we'll drop a tempest over there, and we'll drop a tempest over here. We'll drop a golem down here. We'll drop a couple caterpillars down there to kill that. We'll drop a golem up here, and then we're going to drop the caterpillars on the right-hand side. So they shouldn't draw any aggro. I'm going to drop a little bit on the left also. And you can see the golem's almost dead already. We're going to go ahead and heal spell. Just to keep him alive a little bit. We'll freeze spell. And we are now down to gloves. So we'll drop our gloves down. And there's literally only sentries left, so we can now go ahead and drop down our raiders. And you can see this base we just tore it to shreds. And yeah, this is going to be an easy 100%. I mean, realistically, I think we just lost maybe 2 golems and 1 caterpillar probably. So this guy, had a lot of gold, but he didn't have a good base. And this is what you're going to find. You're going to find players that have been storing up gold and resources, but their base sucks. And so then you can just steal it from them. I think currently you can lose around 20% of your gold or your resources. So he had almost 40,000. That means he had approximately 200,000 gold. So he was pretty loaded. He was pretty stocked there on gold and resources. Yeah, look at that. 1, 1, 1. 1 Caterkiller, 1 Tempest, 1 Golem. Very, very easy base to go through. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's rating session. Thanks for watching and checking out the channel. If you have any questions or comments, post them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Try to get back on almost every comment. And then please hit that subscribe and like button. Like the videos, share the videos with your friends. Tell people about the game. That is the best thing that you guys can do to help the game grow, help me grow, and just help everyone have more fun. The devs do watch and read the comments, so if you are interested in posting some feedback, post it down there and we'll talk to the devs. The devs will see it. You can also email the devs as well, and they are on Facebook, and there is a Discord. So I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck, happy hunting, and happy holidays. Stay safe.